Hello everyone, this is Enayat Meer with my Active Directory Migration video project. This is my video number 3. Little bit overview for first two videos. We have created a source domain source.com and a target domain target.com. Also, I added few groups, universal and global groups. I also used PowerShell command to add 5,000 users. I also downloaded SQL Server, but so far I did not install a SQL Server. But we're gonna continue this video series, and each video you will see few new things. Here I have a brief overview. Whatever you see done was done in first two videos. So I am also updating these notes. So this was done in video 2. And also you have a little bit brief on top of this screen as well, that will tell you very clearly about the source name and the target name. Just keep in mind we have a source.com and a target.com domain in both environments, where we're gonna go and set up a two-way transitive trust. We will set up DNS for DNS condition forwarders, and we'll do some other work. But I am going to add these bullets or numbers here in this notepad. So whatever is required we are going to add. I will keep updating my note, and I will show you my current note as well. So this is the note while I am recording these videos and I am typing at the same time. This is the command which we have used to add users through the PowerShell. So this is a video part 3. You should watch part 1 and part 2. This is a Hyper-V environment where I have my source.com domain. These are users I have added in my video 2 using PowerShell. I added 5,000. You can add 10,000. You can add 1 million users, 10 million users, 100 users, 10 users. This is all up to you. You also can add these users into desired groups. So now I have some global groups. I have some universal groups. The group name which starts with G, that is a global. So G source is a global group. U as an umbrella, source is a universal group. So I have picked few users and added them to these two groups. Now you see the list of those users is available. So these users I have just added into those groups, few of them in global group and a few of them in universal group. So keep in mind, when you migrate users and select the option for migrating groups with users, you will see that you are also migrating groups with the users. This is all up to you. If you check the box, it will be done as you instruct. So the second one is a member server. This is a member server or part of my source domain. So I have this Windows Server 2016 environment. Currently you will see this server. I'm logging in locally. I am using source domain as a Windows Server 2016 operating system. I am using target domain as a Windows Server 2016 operating system. From Server Manager, you can review settings such as your dashboard, or under local server you can see computer name and domain name. From here, from the Explorer, you can take a look the target domain. Whatever I am sharing, that is where I shared SQL Server, SQL Express. I downloaded it in video number 2, and I am going to add locally SQL from target domain to this member server. So if I want to install this SQL Express locally, I don't have to go and browse back to the target domain. So I have the environment, a physical server. Then on top of physical, I installed Hyper-V. On Hyper-V, I have one source domain, one target domain, and one member server. I'm installing SQL on a member server. So this is my third computer, which I had intention to make it a member of source domain. Then I would migrate this computer also to target environment. I'm installing SQL Express. I don't have internet, so you will see that it's not gonna update on this computer. I do have internet, but not right now on this computer. I did not set up. So that is the way you can run SQL. Currently, I am going to use a named instance just for a demo purposes. Then I will remove this SQL server and reinstall back as a default instance. MS SQL, like SQL Express, is a default instance. Currently, I'm going to remove SQL Express, or you can leave it actually. Instead of removing a default instance, you can leave it. For my target domain where I gonna install SQL Server for ADMT, I might gonna go and use a named instance instead of having a default instance. If you want to use a service account, you can go into your Active Directory, and I do have a service account for a SQL. I can use that service account for my member server, and I also can use another service account for my target domain if I set up that service account, because target domain will be used for ADMT. So ADMT gonna be installed at target as a best practice. So here you have a SQL SVC service account in source domain, and this is the password which I just pasted. Just click on next from here. Using service account that will be migrated, so tagged later on with SQL server service account migration visit. So that visit will only tag service account from the server. This is my source domain. So from here I'm just adding few accounts as SQL SvcADMT. These accounts, domain members or domain admins, doesn't matter. You are going to permit them access for SQL, and I would like to be SvcADMT on SQL Server. So I can add and remove components into the SQL Server. So this is just a simple account. So by default, you are a member of domain users. So I am going to give myself some high privileges. So I am adding myself to a domain admins group. So now I have lower than enterprise admin access, but I am going to give myself domain admins access, which is good enough for very common administrative operation. I copied another account as a backup. Backup is a member of domain admins because I copied EMEER account. Going back to my SQL. Now I am able to add newly created users as a SQL admin. So now I have the account was what I was logged in. Now I have 2 more accounts as a SQL admins. If you want to add some more accounts randomly, you can pick some accounts. You can. This is up to you. Account should reside in Active Directory because you are browsing from the directory. So that is why you need to see that if account is validated. So we have a lot of accounts with a same starting name, but numbers are unique. So you can pick individual account directly or couple of accounts directly. We actually don't have to have these accounts in it. Just for a demo purpose, I am adding a few accounts for a SQL Server. So one of those accounts we will be using, or several accounts we will be using here for SQL login. Then we're gonna go to the target side, and then we're gonna go and create a two-way transitive forest trust. So you can go back and forth. If anybody who is a domain member at target will still be able to log into the source. But my intention is that to migrate this SQL Server or member server from source domain member to the target domain member. So we are almost done. We are installing here SQL. I paused the video, then I resumed now, and successfully SQL is done. Now we can close. So this is a SQL Server now as well. This was not a SQL before, and keep in mind this SQL Server will not be used for any other purposes except migrating. Now I am going towards my target domain. Host name is target, domain name is target.com. I have added a NetBIOS name, targetuk.com. So just keep in mind, for your information, that is the environment what I have. So far I have nobody migrated, nothing here in target side. But before I am going to prepare my domain at target to install tool ADMT, Active Directory Migration Tool. Very quite fair, simple process to install SQL Express. So I am just pointing out here that on member server I am using SQL Express just as an application, and I will show you when you migrate that server will carry on service account with it, but you have to tag service account first or before you migrate computer. Once a service account is tagged, it will be migrated as a simple user account. Then you can actually run a security translation visit if you want to for a user profile, if you want to transfer that profile with account, and at the very end you are going to migrate computer. So yes, computer migration will be very last part of this process. So very fair and simple. I'm installing again a SQL Server. At this time, I'm going to use a named instance, as I said, just for a demo purposes. Then I will go offline, remove the SQL Server from the target. So I'm giving them a temporary name ADMT INST just to let you know that you also can use at installation time a named instance. You can add also other SQL administrators during the installation process. I will not gonna keep everything live. I can basically pause my video and come back when that is done, or I can show you some other documentation progress. So few of these things we have done already. Most of these things are not done because I don't want to keep my videos long. So I will keep it very short and simple. So I don't want anyone to get bored. So I will break up these videos in several parts, and each video you will see few new things. Because this is a very huge topic and is a very important topic, the good news is that ADMT 3.2, which is a current version of migration tool, is a very accurate tool. It is not like 3.0 or 3.1. We have much improvement in this tool, and you will see actually. So on the other end, I am installing SQL Express on this server. As I told you, I am giving you here this ADMT instance, but when I come back in my next video, I will show you a brief overview of the SQL which I am going to remove after this video while I will be offline, and I will install back SQL Express with a default instance. So I will keep things consistent. So my SQL installation is still in progress while I am talking on, while I am showing these things here. So I am going to show you here SQL on target domain for ADMT tool is done, installed, almost done. And also I used a SvcADMT service account. I will change instance name, and also I will change a service account from target domain, and we are going to use a default instance. I'm adding numbers here, that what will be next or what will be done, what was done already and what will be the next topic. So I'm adding here few bullets or numbers because we have to use PES tool also. The reason is that we want to migrate password with user account migration. We also want to migrate a security identifier, SID history. That is very important because I want to migrate user account with groups. I want to migrate security identifier or a SID. So I will keep SID history for users. My SQL installation is done. So far we have completed few things. That includes SQL. Download was done in my video number 2. In this video, I have installed a SQL Server on my member server. Then I installed a SQL Server on my target domain. Target domain is a SQL Server Plus, which is a domain where I will migrate users from source domain. So next video will be my video 4, where you will see my SQL Express default instance. and also you will see installation of Active Directory migration tool in my next video. So video 4 will be very important, and keep in touch and keep watching these videos. Thank you.